Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is the sixth and final part of the lecture on how to become a great teacher. This part deals with the Ghazali project for the revival of the Deen. So the basic question in front of us is, look at what happened 1400 years ago. Allah Ta'ala revealed the Quran to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and the Wahi starts with Allah Ta'ala allama al-insana ma lam ya'lam. Allah Ta'ala gave knowledge to man which man did not have. The Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sent as a teacher, wasto muallim. So his teaching changed the course of history. It changed those people who were ignorant and backwards to world leaders. It created a civilization which was dominant for 1,000 years. So the question is, what happened? Can this be done again today? Does this knowledge have the same power? Does this method of teaching, the way of teaching of our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, can it launch a revolution today? If we look around us, the conditions are very similar to the Jahiliyyah. The ignorance and backwardness and lack of morality and cruelty and oppression, every kind of zulm that was prevalent in the age of ignorance, the Jahiliyyah, we see all around us. And today again, the Muslims are the most backward people on the planet who are wrapped in ignorance and superstition. So the time is right. So what happened? Why did the Muslims fall back? Well, this is a long and complex story. But at the heart of it is the problem of the modern Mu'tazila. The ancient Mu'tazila were very impressed by Greek philosophy, and they said the knowledge that we get from Greek philosophy is on par with the Quran. Now, actually today, everything that the Greek philosophers thought has been proven wrong, but at that time, it was so impressive, the complex and difficult philosophy, that some Muslims were thought that it should be placed on par with the Quran. Today we have exactly the same problem. Nearly all the Muslims are so impressed by the West and by Western science and by Western knowledge that they say that this knowledge is superior to the Quran. So what does the West call knowledge? It calls knowledge the knowledge of the external world. It doesn't talk about the ruh and the spiritual progress and the obedience to Allah. Knowledge in Islam is the knowledge of Allah, but this is not part of Western knowledge. What is the purpose of a Western education? It is to acquire knowledge with which we can acquire wealth and power. Again, this is suited to their history of global conquest and colonization. Their whole history is about colonizing, conquering, exploiting, taking the things that belong to others and making a profit from this. So this is not knowledge according to Islam. The methods of teaching are also designed to create standardized parts for the production of wealth, the human resource. But the central insight of Islam is that the man is the most precious, the most valuable of all the creations of God. The question is, how can we create this value? How can we make man precious? So what Imam Ghazali did in his times was, there were 3 books that he wrote. One was the Deliverance from the Error. He said that I was very confused. There were so many different schools of thought. They all had different ideas about what the truth is. And I didn't know how to find it. So he explains the process by which he came to realize the truth. And once he had the light of Iman in his heart, he could see that the philosophers, the Greek philosophers, were all wrong. He wrote this Tahāfut al-Falāsifa to show why most of the things the philosophers were saying were wrong. And then the third part is Ihya Uloom-ud-Deen. So if the existing knowledge is wrong, then we need to use Islamic teachings to recover the truth. And these same three steps are needed today. So what is the deliverance from the error? First thing is to understand where we are, what is our mistake. So one of the mistakes that we are making is that we think that Islam is obsolete. We think that the Quran does not contain guidance for us today. It was useful for some centuries ago, but it is no longer useful today. And there is an evidence for this. The evidence is that, look, we have the Quran, we have the Hadith, and still we are very backward in ignorance. So if the Quran and Hadith contained the guidance that would solve our problem, then we would not be backward in ignorance. So actually, this is a case of Jahl Murakkab. The first thing is to not know something, and the second thing is to Jahl Murakkab is to believe that you know something even though you do not know it. So today the Muslims believe that we understand Islam, but the truth is that Islam came as a stranger and shall become a stranger. And today we are copying the ways of the West without understanding what Islam is and how it can change our lives. So Islam can solve our problems, and the Quran is complete and sufficient guidance for today. But in order to understand this, we have to get rid of a lot of wrong ideas that we have acquired. So for that we have to, the process the Imam Ghazali said was that first you realize that everything you have learned is doubtful, is not of value. You cannot be sure of it. Then you look for what you can be sure of, and you find in your heart that you can be sure of Allah. So everything proceeds from the nur of Allah. If it comes into our hearts, that allows us to see the path that we need to follow today. So the second pillar of the Ghazali project is Tahāfut al-Falāsifa, the rejection of Western wisdom. So we are very impressed by the West. Why? Because they conquered the world. Well, is conquest a good thing? Uh, throughout history, barbarians have conquered civilizations. Even in our own history, the Mongols conquered Islamic civilization, a large part of it. So the Western wisdom is the philosophy of conquest. How do you conquer the world? So it's about ruthless exploitation. It's about all of us fair in love and war. It's about genocide. Kill those that are in the path to power. It's about the pursuit of wealth and power and luxury, and this is the purpose of life. So because of these deadly philosophies, this has been the deadliest century of human history. Millions and millions of people killed in wars, uh, millions and millions of animal species destroyed, the planet destroyed, everything is being destroyed. The seas are filled with acid, and the atmosphere is filled with poisonous gases. Why? Because we are engaged in the production of wealth. So, the science and technology, which is supposed to be a great wonder of the West, you have to understand that um, if you teach how to build an atom bomb, but you don't teach people that it is heartless to kill, that it is wrong to kill millions of civilians, then this is not knowledge. This is very harmful knowledge. And as a result of this, um, greedy pursuit of wealth, hedonism, we have seen the breakdown of families in the West. More than 50% of the children are born outside of family. So what does this mean? It means that the child does not get the warm and loving nest in which he can grow and achieve the greatness that Allah Ta'ala has put in the seed of every human being. He needs the environment, but children are born into a place where no one loves them. And this is the great problem of the West. So what is the third step to the revival of Deen is Ihya Uloom-ud-Deen. We have to learn how to understand the Quran and how to use it to solve all our problems. We reject the idea of secular knowledge, the idea that the West gave us, that there are some domains of knowledge like biology, physics, chemistry, economics, political science, which religion has nothing to do with. So this is a big mistake. Religion has everything to do with everything. You must also reject the illusion of Western expertise that in any problem, the West is expert, they can solve our problem. This is completely wrong. Look at the problems that they are having and understand that their own society is crumbling and they cannot solve our problems. In economic theory, the whole world watched, all of the economists watched as the global financial crisis took place. They had no idea why it happened and they had no idea how to cure it. So all of the fields of the social sciences are ready for revival because the social sciences work are about human beings, but the West does not understand what a human being is. Because according to the Western model, human beings don't have any souls and they don't have any emotions. They're all brains. They only calculate gains and advantages. The physical sciences are also wrong because they teach how to acquire power over the world, but they don't teach that this is our home planet. We don't have other planets, and that exploitation is wrong, and that we have to live in harmony with the planet. This is a trust for us. We can't destroy it, we can't spoil it, we can't use it up and leave nothing for the future. So all of these things are not taught. All they are taught is how to build the atom bomb, how to destroy, how to exploit. So without teaching the responsibility, without teaching that all of these things that are given to us are given to us by God, and that these are the signs of God, the great creation, that these are the miracles of God that we should use to learn about God. So basic knowledge in Islam is learning how to recognize God by looking at the spectacular creations of God. When this is missing, when we don't recognize God, then we can do all sorts of zulm, and that's what we are seeing today. So the deen is necessary in all fields of knowledge. Once we start to understand and apply the deen, we will need to make dramatic changes on many fronts. The Western knowledge is built on a lot of dualities. They separate the theory from the practice. We have to integrate theory and practice because what they do, and they separate, they create a lot of useless knowledge. Lots of theories are created which have no application. And lots of applications are done which are without the guidance of right theory. Once humans have hearts and soul, then we will avoid the problem that the West has created, which is of sociopathic societies. Sociopathic societies are societies which do things which are heartless. Like how can you have a world in which there is plenty of food for everybody, but billions of people are hungry? How can you have billionaires and 50 people who own half the wealth of the planet, while other people don't have enough money to buy their bread, to buy milk for their babies, to buy medicine when they're sick? This is a very, very sick world, and Islam provides us with the cure for this sickness. So the Quran teaches us that we were created. Why were we created? Allah Ta'ala says, الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْمَوْتَ وَالْحَيَاةَ لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ أَيُّكُمْ أَحْسَنُ عَمَلًا. Allah Ta'ala asks us to be the best of deeds. He asks us to be excellent, not just to be good, to fair, to middling. He doesn't ask us to get a B grade. He asks us to do the best, get an A star. So we have only one chance at this life. Let us give it our best shot. This is what it means to be a great teacher. That we are trying for greatness. And we teach our students to try for greatness. We don't claim to be great. This is one very important thing. That how can you be a great teacher? Our call is not that I am the greatest person. Our call is that we were built, all of us, all human beings, we were built for greatness. Allah Ta'ala says that we are ahsan taqweem, and that this is the best of the ummah. We have the greatest message, we have the greatest messenger, and we have been given the greatest responsibility, which is to take this message to all of humanity. And we have to do it according to the best that we know how. And if we can become learners, lifelong learners, and we can teach our students also to be lifelong learners, then we can accomplish this mission, and we can realize this potential for greatness that Allah Ta'ala has placed inside all human beings. وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين.